Hello friends, Mark Holmes here with my buddy CowboyJobu, and as always, thank you guys for watching, commenting, and subscribing to the Jobu Sports Report. Because without you guys, well, this just doesn't work. So, we have everybody there at the Combine. Jason Garrett's there, the bus is there, Jerry Jones is there, everybody's there. Wouldn't you like to be a fly on the wall when Jerry Jones sees Roger Goodell? Yeah, I'd like to see that. Well, Jason Garrett has finally been on the podium, and he's talking about Dez Bryant, and it seems like he has given Dez Bryant the vote of confidence. Let's go to the tape and see exactly what happened today on NFL Network.
So let's try to make sense of the Dez Bryant situation. He's 29, will turn 30 in November. 3 consecutive years without 1,000 yards receiving, due to make $12.5 million this year. And he said recently in a radio interview that he has not heard about the possibility of a pay cut, but if that comes up, that's between him and his family. Jason Garrett, Cowboys head coach, earlier today. Your thoughts?
You know, we have a tremendous amount of love for Dez Bryant as an organization. He's made so many contributions to our team. I personally have a lot of love for him as a player and more so as a person. You know, the growth and development that he's made over the course of his career with us has been exponential, and again, has made a huge impact on our team. So I don't know the specifics of that interview. I do know our feelings about him. He's been a great player for us for a long time. You know, we haven't had any specific personnel meetings about any of our players. You know, we had a wrap-up meeting at the end of the season, almost reviewing what happened last year, and we'll have some more meetings, you know, starting this week, and then once we get back to Dallas, about the specific roles for each of our players going forward.
There's a decision you guys have to make about him in regard to this contract. The front office haven't even gone down that road yet at all.
Yeah, obviously there are a lot of decisions we have to make with our team. Like we talked a little bit earlier, your 2018 team will be different than 2017. And we have some guys who are out of contract. We have some guys who have different kinds of contracts that you have to discuss every year. So we haven't had specific conversations about any of those guys yet.
His struggle last year, he said he played through injuries and he let things get to him. Did you see that?
You know, I think it goes to that passion word that you used. I mean, it's really line one when you talk about him as a person and as a player. He loves football, and you know, like a lot of guys, you deal with things over the course of a 17-week season in the NFL. And you know, Dez throughout his career has always been someone who's mentally tough and physically tough, been able to play through a lot of things. Obviously, if we were injured, we don't want him out there playing, but you deal with the things from week to week in this league, and you know, his mental toughness and his physical toughness is as good as anybody I've been around. You know, one of the things about him and a lot of high-achieving players is when things don't go well, sometimes there is frustration. You know, one of our jobs as coaches is to make sure their mind is right and make sure they can keep focused and keep their mind clear to play their best. At times last year, Dez did an excellent job of that, and I think he would tell you at times he probably didn't do as good a job as he needed to.
Why do you think his production has dropped here the last 3 seasons?
Again, we'll pull back and we'll look at all that. Obviously, he's been in and out of the lineup with some injuries at different times. I think you do have to be careful about evaluating production from year to year, because the makeup of your team, the makeup of your offense, your approach on offense can change. And you know, sometimes a guy might catch 20 fewer balls in a year, but he might be more productive with the opportunities that he's gotten. Because you ran the ball more, because maybe you had other players on your offense that the ball went to, and you're a better offense overall because of that. So you want to attack different ways. Certainly you want to get opportunities for a guy like Dez Bryant. He's cashed in on them throughout his career for us.
And the cash here is roughly $12.5 million. This is Jane Slater, who covers the Cowboys. I used to say live at the start of the Ford Center in Frisco, Texas. She's actually here on Up to the Minute live in Indianapolis. I guess it comes down to, Jane, do you pay a guy who's soon to be 30, $12.5 million? Is there enough sentimentality there and enough belief that he can still be a player at that age that is worth $12.5 million?
Well, if you listen to Dez Bryant, he was on 105.3 The Fan in Dallas on Friday. He passionately said that he is that guy, that he had a tough season. Admittedly, he played through some injuries, and he allowed things off the field to affect his game on the field. He has recommitted himself. We saw him working out this week as late as 8 from some of his Instagram stories, and he says he's quietly getting his mind and body right. He is committed to staying Dallas. He was asked if he could see himself playing anywhere else. He said it wouldn't feel right to be in that Cowboys uniform, and he was asked about the pay cut. Something that I will point out was brought up by the media first at the end of the season, not something the Cowboys were openly talking about. He's asked about that. He won't go on record as to whether he would do that or not, but I will tell you in private conversations with Dez, I truly believe that if it came down to the opportunity to play somewhere else or play in Dallas for a little less money, he would do that because he values not only Jerry Jones and his coach, Jason Garrett, but the guys in that locker room. He wants to win this thing with his teammates. This is a guy that grew up a Dallas Cowboys fan. He's living his dream by doing that. I think he wants to see it through.
Do you get the impression that they want him back at any price? That there is a right number, and they're willing to find that number as opposed to just going, not sure.
They're being incredibly vague about it. I'll be honest with you on that, Andrew. If you listened to Steven yesterday when I pressed him on it, Jason Garrett today, they will tell you that they have an immense amount of respect for Dez and what he's done for this organization, but they're not overtly trying to say that we're going to get this thing done. In other words, we're going to make this thing happen in Dallas. And I think some people are seeing those comments and a little concerned about that. But I also think that Jerry does have an emotional attachment to Dez Bryant and vice versa. And I think once you get those two at the table, I think something gets worked out. I truly believe that.
All right, so truly believe something does get worked out again. 30 in November, $12.5 million cash, 16.5 is what Dez Bryant would count.
Hey friends, CowboyJobu here at the Jobu Report. The Dallas Cowboy fans are elated. The Redskin fans, not so much. How about them Cowboys? Wait a minute.
And the most comfortable hats.
What the fuck? Talk about your confused fans. But who cares? The Dallas Cowboys beat the Washington Redskins for the third time in a row at FedEx. Gotta love it.